Songbook Volume 2, the
Yes.
making of,
Yeah,
which we did.
that was the summer of 2012.
So, was it exactly a year ago? Or
Yes, it was. It was literally the second week of July. Second to third week of July, we recorded it in 1 week. And basically it was with Jerry Sliwerski and Will Woodward, and the three of us really worked as a real unit, putting the thing together. You know, they've got all the engineering credits on it and mastering and stuff, and then I produced it, you know, together with them. I think we had 8 songs to record in 1 week, and we kind of tried to develop like what areas we should play. And we used this building where they had like long hallways and like big kind of like disabled toilets with different tiling, and we just experimented with how the guitar sounded at different places, how the cajon sounded acoustic, rather than just trying to get a plug-in which kind of like simulates a specific acoustic environment. We tried to kind of get something which was actually just more real. And Jez and I remember spent quite a lot of time trying to kind of like find the right mic angles and different things. And Will would, at that time, would be setting up another session or programming like different kind of drum beats and click tracks. We wanted to do something slightly different and built up, rather than just what people see as live, which is just an acoustic guitar, like percussion and then vocals. We wanted to do something slightly more bang for your buck kind of thing. We wanted more.
Well, we just wanted to be able to explore more, didn't we? With recording
as a guitar player,
layers of harmonies that we can't do live.
Yeah.
You can't get the same effects, and there's little atmospheric pieces we wanted to do, especially in Winterfell Wood.
A lot of the songs on this album were written, but they weren't really arranged 100%. It was a little bit looser, and what we tried to do was second guess what Philippa wanted in some of the arrangements, and that was quite tricky when she wasn't there. And what we tended to do was kind of build up sections, and I would feed off Jez, and then Jez would kind of like throw something back at me, and I think that's where he would kind of like say, right, we've done it, and then I'd ask for another track, and then I'd kind of play over ideas. So I'd start to get kind of like different melodies or a little bit of lead line, and I think then we started to cut those sections to outros and kind of like middle. And there was a lot of songs on that album which have got little acoustic intros, which were just us warming up and getting the right sounds. And it seemed just, I'd never written them before. It was just a nice little way of doing it. I think for engineers who are co-producers as well, I think that was a really good way of a collaboration or a collaborative process, because it was like, what do you think of this? Let's try this, let's put that in, the songs were written, but arrangements wise it was nice to put it together.
And then, you should leave that a bit loose.
And then by the time 4 or 5 o'clock came, the three of us were probably fried, and then you'd come in with a fresh set of ears, and then we'd probably have to re-record the whole thing again. But that's pretty much how the whole the process
but that
worked.
was quite different from the first album, because...
Well, I did pretty much the whole album in my home studio.
Just the process of it, because we arranged and actually finished writing a lot of those songs in the studio, recording the first album. This second album, we played out for like 2-3 years with a lot of the songs, so it was.
I think it's important to say
fully formed.
We weren't a band when the first album started, and
that wasn't our idea. We wanted to be
songwriters,
and it was going to be a collaborative effort, which is why on the first album, and a lot of people obviously don't know this, which is why we're kind of explaining it now. But the first album was meant to show off our songs and have other singers perform on them.
Which is why you're singing one song?
So we had male and female and a lot of different kind of vocal textures and things, because that's what we were setting ourselves up to be. And then just organically we became a band, and it's important to say we had
one of our major musicians back there. Leighton's been with us for a long time, and all of the male vocals went to him. But at the time, he'd come in and I'd arrange songs with him and go give him ideas, and then he'd take those ideas, because I can't sing for Toffee, but I'd sing these things to him and get some melodic ideas, and then he would go and try them out. But the other person who was vital to the first album was Sarah then Turner, wasn't it?
Yeah, Sarah McKenna. She's a viola player, and she was in our live band.
Yeah, and she would basically take my lead guitar parts that I had and put them on viola, which kind of at the time we were very much into people like Seth Lakeman and older things as well. Yeah, and putting that string idea really helped, and really, especially on songs like 2,000 Miles and Love's Fugitive.
Yeah. So that was the first album. So the second album is completely different because I'm taking
not there, of course.
the leads now.
Yeah, you did all the female leads on that.
Leighton is the only other male, apart from you doing backing and whatever. Leighton's the only other, vocalist that we have on there.
And then we have a drummer, percussionist.
Yeah, and then there's Phil, who's our drummer.
Who pretty much came in on the. He did a little bit of guest on the. I think he guested on 2,000 Miles on the first one, but I think I did all the percussion on the first one, and then on the second album he practically did all of the percussion with the cahans and drum kits and different things.
He's been playing them out live, so again it was. I think in some ways it was a lot easier. It was a lot more intense, the second album, like the recording process, but at the same time I think we had much more of an idea of what we wanted, because the first album was just recorded over such a long period of time. And the amount of times we scrapped songs because we'd produce them and then we'd listen to them and think, my God, there's just too much in it. And I think we were guilty when we first started off of just piling everything in and every single idea going. And then we'd listen back and it just didn't work, and then we'd end up just stripping it all back again.
But that was, I
think now, because we're this band, and I think now we've started the songs off as really stripped down, and then I think the songs become more fully formed.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy the album. It's available on iTunes, Amazon, Spotify.
Dow Boys Market Store.
Back of a lorry, back of a van.
Yeah. My daughters will be shipped out to kind of sell them. Yeah.
In the streets. And watch out for Songbook Volume 2, which we're 3 even.
Yeah, we've done 2,
which we're currently writing, because we've got loads of old songs and newer songs.
We've got about 6 or 7 new ideas, and
we've
got at least 6 old ones that we need to.
Yeah. So we kind of, Songbook Volume 3 is definitely coming along.
But just before we finish, I would like to thank the people in the band, so Leighton Carter, Phil Lockhart, and Sarah Turner, McKenna, who did the last one. But I also would like to thank the dedication on the second album is to a really good friend of mine, or ours, called Paul Harvey, who died 2009, and he got ill when we were in Australia, which you were meant to come as well, and we were doing some songwriting and meeting publishers over there, and you emailed me some lyrics, and I remember I wrote a couple of songs out there with your lyrics. Scene in the Crime was one of them, and so it was very sad that he got ill and wasn't around to hear the second album, unfortunately.
So the album's dedicated
to him.
But also Will and Jez. We've got to wrap up.
I don't know any raps. Anyway, thank you very much.